Hello, 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 hello. Hi, this is Dr. Carla Michelle. I want to just stop in real quick and talk about the power of our decisions and to not overlook that not making a decision is making a decision. Just got finished talking to one of my clients, and this stood out for me. And not that they have a problem with making decisions at all. They're very, very well versed in what they do. I think it's the decisions on different levels that come to us and challenge us. So, as we start here on the Strong Network podcast, I want to just point out a couple of tips of what would be helpful in why you need to make a decision, the understanding the power of your decisions, and understanding that still, even in the power and understanding that you have right, and there is no reason to hold back of a thought that you have in your mind. It's just how you deliver it that makes a whole nother uh, impact into your life as well. And that's something we can talk about at another time. But let me give you a couple of pointers here about making decisions that are really going to help you in the long run. So, like I said, even when you decide not to decide, your silence makes that decision. And so remember that number one, you're always deciding. You're always deciding, even in your silence. So if you let something happen and you're dealing with things that are happening in life, you're dealing with things that are happening in a relationship, you're dealing with things that are happening on your job, when you are silent about what you prefer or what you would like or what you've been thinking, you've decided to let the decision that has been made already without your input to have the power. So every moment you choose not to act, to speak up, to advocate for yourself, you're making a decision to let life happen to you instead of you taking control and letting your decisions and your life happen for you. So don't sit there and let someone else's voice have precedent over what you need, over what matters for you, and over what you want in your life. Number two, self-doubt is a thief of power. Self-doubt is a thief of power. I think about myself. When I have self-doubt, as any other human being does, I am letting it rob me of my power. If I have doubt about what I want to say to a client, if I have doubt what I want to say in a relationship, if I have doubt of what I want to say when I'm negotiating, if I have doubt about how I want to speak up in a meeting, if I have doubt of how I want to organize my business, it is taking my power. So anytime self-doubt comes, that you're not enough. Why be consistent in anything? It doesn't really matter. Why go for this? They're not going to see me. Why speak up? They're just going to do what they want to do. It doesn't matter about what they do. It still matters that you hold on to the power. You hold on to your power, sitting there and just saying, you know what? Why talk? Why? I just give in. Why? Just forget it. Why say anything? No, say something. And if there is a situation where you're not being heard and you're in a relationship, let's just do relationship, and you're in a relationship and you're not being heard, why is that? Why and when did that happen? And when can you start correcting that? Because I think it's very important that you move forward in correcting that thief of power that is happening right before your eyes, that is happening right now in the midst of the conversation. Hold on. I need you to hear me. Even though I don't feel heard, I need to hear myself. And I'm going to say this again, and you are going to allow me to say this. And this is what I have to say, and this is what I think. Because just no longer, if that's the wording you use, it's no longer playing small. You have stepped up and started taking more control of the conversation, the way that you're not going to take over the conversation, of you're adding value to the conversation. And that's that self-doubt, that thief of power. When you feel like you don't add to the conversation, who told you don't have anything of value to say? You have something to add to the conversation, and do the work. If you don't feel like you do have something to add, which I know you do, but this is where you rewrite that narrative in your mind and you go in and you realize that you deserve this. You deserve to speak up. You deserve to shift the way your life is going. You deserve to rewrite the narrative. You deserve to change. Even if you were hired for this, or you're in a relationship and they're not used to you changing, and if they're not used to you being different, that's not your problem. That is not your problem. Self-doubt is a thief of power. Let's look at number 3. Comparison kills your progress. Comparison. If you're looking at that person, that colleague, that person that you work beside, that friend, that family member, if you compare yourself to someone on social media, if you compare yourself, someone that you listen to and admire, and you don't understand their backstory, you don't understand what they've been through, you don't understand how the hard times when you didn't see anything happen for them, right? You don't know, but don't let comparison kill your progress, because it will. You want to compare, it will still your desire to continue to move forward. So decisions that you make should reflect your priorities. The decisions you make should reflect your priorities. Wait a minute. Let me turn my phone off so that we don't get interrupted. Decisions you make should reflect your priorities. No external expectations should be included. Not when it comes to your progress, not when it comes to you taking actions forward. Not this year, not this month, not today, not today. This is what you got to get in your head when comparisons comes, not today, because comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison kills your progress. Comparison can take away your power. Decisions that you make have to be done from understanding what you want, have to be done from the confidence that you have. I don't care if it's small. I don't care if it's small as a mustard seed. And if you ever seen a mustard seed, it is small. I don't care how small it is. Your confidence is a part of your empowerment. So if you have low confidence, your empowerment is going to be low. So once again, do that work that gets in to get out of the way of yourself, right? So number 4, let's go over. You always are deciding, even in you're always deciding, even in silence. Number 2, self-doubt is a thief of your power. Number 3, comparison kills your progress and also kills your joy to even want to continue progressing. And then 4, advocating is what is necessary. You need to advocate for yourself. You need to advocate for you, what you need, what you want, what's required to be great in your life. If you don't advocate for yourself, who the heck will? I mean, and yes, there are some friends who will look out for you. There may be a boss who will look out for you. You can have a champion, a mentor, a coach, a therapist who will look out for you, but they're not always with you. They are not always with you. So what are you going to do when you're by yourself and you need to speak up? Make the decision that you will advocate for yourself, that you will fight the battle that needs to be fought in the moment, and that you have everything it takes to fight that battle right now in this timeline. You have it. Because when you do it, it's a confirmation of your worth. Let me say that again. I'm going to pause. Let's take a deep breath. And then we're going to let it go. Speaking up is not about confrontation. Sorry to be doing that. It is not about confrontation. Speaking up is about confirming your worth. And we have been taught speaking up is you're being confrontational. Well, it's all, like I said, it's all in the delivery, but yet it's not about confronting unless you're doing it out of fear and you've lost your confidence and you don't have that oomph to keep it to where you can keep your voice at a calm level where it's more about confirming your worth instead of speaking up because you're scared and all the trash and the trauma that has happened in your life is coming out on this one person. So that's when it comes off being confrontational because you're fighting a battle that this somebody in front of you didn't even start. And sometimes we just blow up from our past and not being present. But you have to remember, take care of that stuff in the past. But right now, you are not confrontational. You're confirming your worth. And you can do it in such a way that is respected, that it's acknowledged, and then someone does a 360, a 180 about how they talk to you and how they see you and what they expect from you. Number 5, decisions are reflections of value. Your decisions are the reflection of your values. Well, I don't know what my values are. Let's take some time this year, this month, this week, this day, and discover your value. What do you value? What do you value? I talked to someone and they shared that some of the things that they would have to do to get where they wanted to go would cause them to go against some of their values. And so in coaching that, I respect the values and I don't want them to to sacrifice their values. That's not the goal. The goal is for them to stay authentic in who they are and what they believe, but also giving a strategy, a game plan to how do they get where they want to go? How do they be at that level that they see themselves and yet don't let go of their values? How do they not play the game? But how do they make rules for their own game? Well, sometimes we have to realize you may not always win in that area, that particular area. It doesn't mean you won't win. It just means in that particular era. However, there is nothing wrong with staying with your values, being consistent in what you know you want to do and what you know is right, and keep delivering. And I'm talking about in your play, your profession, keep delivering in a way, and then understand there's a countdown. If it doesn't match you and your values, then there's a rethinking of what kind of industry you're in, what you're doing with your life, what decisions that you've made, because you might want to go ahead and rethink that so that your values align with where you want to go and how you want to get there. So remember, your decisions measure and reflect your values. So align your decisions with what elevates you, what makes you feel good when you lay your head on that pillow at night. So once again, quick points. The power of your decisions. One, you always are deciding, even in your silence. So watch that silent buy-in that you're doing. Self-doubt is a thief of power. Comparison kills your progress. Advocacy is non-negotiable. You've got to make yourself a priority and not let external expectations always have the winning hand. And then decisions are reflections of your value. And remember, non-confrontational is saying that your worth is not worth recognizing. Being confrontational is confirming that you don't feel you're worthy, or it's giving permission for others not to see your worthiness when you decide, no, you're worthy. So in this, I want to ask you, What decisions have you been putting off that would move you closer to the life you want? What decisions have you been putting off that would move you closer to the life you want? And I challenge you to take one small step today. I challenge you every time you listen to this podcast, you watch this video, I want you to take one small step forward into what decision making looks like for you. And then the points that were shared today, how do you want to show up? How do you want to match them? How do you want to surpass them? Because you have value, you have worth. Your silence shouldn't speak for you anymore. Your unworthiness or your self doubt shouldn't camouflage who you really are and sabotage what you want to be in this life. All right, this is Dr. Carla Michelle of CM Coaching and Consulting. I am so happy to again have this time with you. I look forward to our next time together, and take care and be strong.